Namo Sakyamuni Buddha. Dear Venerable Sangha, dear Buddhist ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the English news transmission on the online TV weekly Buddhist Newsreel, a comprehensive channel. Here are the headlines of major Buddhist news of the week. Ho Chi Minh City, the 57th memorial date of Bodhisattva Thích Quảng Đức self-immolation. Government Committee for Religious Affairs provides guidance for religious activities in the new stage of prevention and control of COVID-19. Official letter on normal religious activity in new context of COVID-19 pandemic prevention. Notification on organizing the Bazaar in Buddhist calendar 2564. Bencher social charity section to open water ATM and offered gifts to visually impaired people. Kiên Giang Ngọc Sơn Friary to give gifts to the disadvantaged people. And hereafter are the news in details. On the morning of May 12, 2020, at Vietnam National Temple, the permanent section of Vietnam Buddhist Sangha in association with Ho Chi Minh City Buddhist Sangha solemnly held the 57th-year memorial ceremony of Thích Quảng Đức self-immolation and Buddhist martyrdom monks who died in 1963 Dharma Bang.
In witness, it was honored to have Venerable Thích Quảng, Deputy Prelate cum Superintendent Council of Patrons, Head of Ho Chi Minh City Buddhist Sangha, Venerable Thích Đức Nghiệp, Deputy Prelate of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, Venerable Thích Nhung, Chairman of Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, Venerable Thích Pháp, Standing Vice Chairman of the Administration Council, Venerable Thích Thông, Deputy Secretary General of Administration Council, Chief of Office to Venerable Yoshimizu Daichi, former Chairman of the Pure Land Buddhism of Japan, and many Buddhist monks and nuns among the attendants. The ceremony was attended by Mr. Lê Hoàng Vân, Deputy Head of Ho Chi Minh City Religious Committee, and other leaders of agencies, departments, and sectors. The dignitaries of Buddhist Council Patrons, Administration Council, Vietnamese Buddhist Sangha, representatives of agencies, sectors in Ho Chi Minh City respectfully offer incense to commemorate the offerings. Afterwards, all attending monks and nuns, Buddhists chanted the Eightfold Sutra, praying for prosperity, equanimity, and peace. The Bodhisattva Thích Quảng Đức, from the Lâm family, was born in 1897. At the age of 7, he was ordained as a monk, together with Venerable Như Đạt Giải Nghĩa Hoàng Thâm, a member of Trúc Thánh Meditation sect. At the age of 20, he was ordained as Bhikkhu and a Bodhisattva bearing the Dharma name Quảng Đức. In 1932, he took out the Master's Certificate for the Ninh Hoa Buddhist Association. 3 years later, he was invited to hold the post of Sangha Superintendent of the Khánh Hoa Buddhist Society. In 1948, he practiced Dharma in Saigon, Gia Định, Định Tường, Tây Ninh, Ba Dịa, and Hà Tiên. In 1953, he held the position of Deputy Administration Board and Ceremonial Head of the South Vietnamese Sangha, staying at Phước Hòa Pagoda in Ban Cờ. This is the first place where the Vietnam Buddhist Society was located. In 1958, he resigned all positions to have enough time for study of ascetic practices and a peace of mind. In 1963, despite his old age, he still actively participated in the non-violent struggle of Northern Buddhists for religious freedom and religious equality. On June 11, 1963, procession flow of martyrs portraits comprising more than 800 monks and nuns from Phật Bủ Pagoda to Xá Lợi Pagoda as the procession proceeded to the crossroads of Phan Đình Phùng and Lê Văn Duyệt. Bodhisattva Thích Quảng Đức stepped down from his car, soaked himself with gasoline, set himself on fire, and burned himself in the meditative sitting position. His noble self-immolation for the Dharma and the mighty fire that left to earth the immortal heart intact, and the vow of determination filled with merciful compassion and tolerance, praying for the Dharma to endure for sentient beings to live in the peaceful world and tranquility.
The religious organizations can operate normal religious activities while taking measures to prevent and control the COVID-19 epidemic. That is the spirit of the guidance in official letter number 304 TGCP VP, signed by the Director of Government Committee for Religious Affairs on the afternoon of May 8, 2020.
implementing the government's office notice number 177 over TB VPCP of May 8, 2020 on the Prime Minister's conclusion at the government standing committees on COVID-19 epidemic prevention and control. The Government Commission for Religious Affairs requests the leaders of the religious organizations to pay attention to directing and guiding dignitaries, apostles, and followers to well implement some contents of the prevention and controls of the COVID-19 epidemic, gradually establishing a new normal state. The disciplines of religious organizations are to guide the organization of normal religious operations and activities while taking measures to prevent and control COVID-19 epidemic. Dignitaries and religious believers who are foreigners or overseas Vietnamese, especially from the epicenters and areas, are in restriction from entry into Vietnam. In the case of entries, all travelers must undergo intensive isolation of 14 days as required. The medical facilities of the religious organization, such as oriental medicines, herbal medicines, the clinics are open for normal operation to monitor the health of the people and religion followers in the communities and to take care of the people, particularly to the poor and those in difficult symptoms. The Government Committee for Religious Affairs also encouraged the propagations and communications on the websites of the religious of spiritual tourist sites and places of worship which are famous places and landscapes, suitable of tourists in the context of the epidemic situation. At the local level, to promote domestic spiritual tourism and prepare to welcome international tourists in an appropriate time when the Vietnamese government sees often for the international tourists.
Following is the official letter of Administration Board Vietnam Buddhist Sangha signed by Venerable Thích Thiện dated May 9, 2020 regarding religious activities being back as usual.
Vietnam Buddhist Sangha Administration Council number 082 CVHDTS regarding normal religious activities in the new context of prevention and control of the COVID-19 pandemic, Socialist Republic of Vietnam, Independence, Freedom, Happiness, Hanoi, May 9, 2020, for the attention of Central Sections, Institutes, Administration Boards of Vietnam Buddhist Sangha in provinces and cities, pagodas and monasteries nationwide. With the solidarity and unity of the entire society, the wise leadership of the government, ministries, and local authorities, Vietnam has basically pushed back and controlled well the COVID-19 disease, no further spread in the community. The government has issued Notice number 177 VPCP dated May 8, 2020, and the Government Committee for Religious Affairs has issued a document number 304 TGCP VP dated May 8, 2020 on establishing a new normal status in socio-economic activities, with focus on economic recovery activities, normal religious activities. Meanwhile, measures must be taken to prevent and control COVID-19 pandemic. The permanent section of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha Administration Board proposes to the central sections and institutes Vietnam Buddhist Sangha at all levels, pagodas and monasteries throughout the country to perform religious activities being back as usual, based on the program of Buddhist activities in 2020 to work out on an adjustment plan to promote Buddhist activities effectively in the remaining months of 2020. It is important to perform the necessary measures in the prevention and control of COVID-19 disease, strictly enforce regulations on disease prevention control such as regularly wearing masks, washing hands thoroughly with soap or disinfectant solution, applying disinfection spraying methods at pagodas and monasteries when organizing religious activities with large congregation. Temporarily, it is not planned to receive the international delegations, overseas Vietnamese Buddhist delegations, especially overseas Vietnamese returning from places considered as epidemic zones. Pagodas in the border areas must regularly conduct medical checks and health declarations with local health units. Promotion of social charity activities, pagodas, monasteries, managing and operating herbal medicine facilities, oriental medicine clinics, medical examination and treatment facilities, Eastern Western medical establishments, social protection establishments, should resume their normal operation, collaborate with local health authorities, and free healthcare services for people, especially for those people in difficult circumstances. It is to implement and promote the movement. Vietnamese people give priority to using Vietnamese goods. Pagodas and monasteries are historically cultural relics and famous places that enhance Buddhist activities, promote tourism activities, and contribute to economic restoration and stabilization of people's lives. We are looking forward to the cooperation from central sections and institutes, the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, the provinces, cities, monks and nuns, Buddhists and pagodas, and monasteries throughout the country to join hands with the whole society in the economic restoration and development of the country. Best regards. Permanent section on behalf of the Chairman, Vice Chairman, General Secretary, Venerable Thích Đức Thiện.
And this is the notification of Administration Board, Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, signed by Most Venerable Thích Pháp, dated May 11, 2020, regarding the Rain Retreat Vasa in Buddhist calendar 2564.
Vietnam Buddhist Sangha Administration Board, number 123, over TBXGTS, Socialist Republic of Vietnam, Independence, Freedom, Happiness, Ho Chi Minh City, May 11, 2020. Notification on organizing the Vasas in Buddhist calendar 2564. For the attention of permanent boards of administration, Vietnam Buddhist Sangha sections in provinces and cities. Based on the Bhikkhu Vinaya and the traditions of the Rain Retreat Vasas of monks and nuns, annually the hermits must settle in the confinement for 3 months, pre-Vasa or post-Vasa, to recuperate their bodies and minds, cultivate the precept, samadhi, bhikkhu, preserve the religious rules solemnly, preserve the sangha for self-interest and social benefit. In the spirit of the country government, the government issued the notice number 177 over TBVPCP on May 8, 2020, and the Government Committee for Religious Affairs promulgated the document number 304 over TGCP VP, date May 8, 2020, on restoring the new normal socio-economic activities, which mean normal religious activities are held with measures to be taken in prevention and control of COVID-19 pandemic. The standing committees of the Administration Council, the central committees of the Monks' Affairs announced to the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha Committee at all levels, monks and nuns, for organizing Vasa Rain Retreat in Buddhist calendar 2564 solar calendar 2020 with the following notification. 1. Organizing. The organizations of the summer retreat Vasa in the mandates of the standing committees of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha of provinces and cities collectively refer to the Provincial Buddhist Sangha Administration Board, which is responsible for registering with the local authorities of the corresponding level and to confirm a venue. Each Provincial Buddhist Sangha in a province or city may organize the Vasa at 2 or more sites. Monks and nuns stay for Vasa separately. It is noted to continue the strict implementations of the regulation in the prevention and controls of COVID-19. The infection spraying must be conducted at the rain retreats along with hygiene and food safety, and ventilated living space to be ensured for the practitioners to do and practice Dharma. If the Provincial Buddhist Sangha Administration Board delegates the mandate to the district, provincial city level, hereinafter referred to the District Buddhist Sangha Administration Board, and delegate levels of Sangha must comply with the above regulation. In the case of Provincial Buddhist Sangha Administration Board cannot afford the Vasa congregation, it is possible to organize the inter-provincial Vasa. The Provincial Buddhist Sangha Administration Board, where the inter-provincial Vasa is organized, will carry out registration procedures with the local authorities. It is to encourage the monks and nuns to settle in rain retreat, internal meditation, to practice lecturing and making warm papers to evaluate the Buddhist practitioner's study achievement. At the facilities such as pagoda, portrait temple, vihara, Zen monastery, cloister, friary, pure land, Buddhist recitation, convent, collectively referred to a monastery, there are many monks and nuns who want to have on-site residence, then they must register with the Provincial District Buddhist Sangha Administration Board and be approved in writing by the Provincial Buddhist Sangha Administration Board. Depending on local conditions and facilities, the Provincial Buddhist Sangha Administration Board may integrate the organizations of the above refreshers course for some other practice work during the Vajradhan retreat. In compliance with the instructions of the Government Committee for Religious Affairs related in the document number 304/TGCP-VP of May 8, 2020, the Provincial Buddhist Sangha Administration Board is requested to pay close attention to and monitor the situations of COVID-19 pandemic. Depending on the actual conditions of each localities, the Provincial Buddhist Sangha Administration Board should consult the authority, cooperate with the Departments of Health and related agencies in the locality to ensure the Vasa congregation to meet the needs of the monks and nuns and perform well the prevention and controls of COVID-19. 2. Administrative procedures. 1. Regarding the Sangha. If the site of Vasa congregation is organized by the District Buddhist Sangha, then the District Buddhist Sangha is responsible for registering with the Provincial Buddhist Sangha Administration Board. If the site for Vasa congregation is organized by the Provincial Buddhist Sangha, then the Provincial Buddhist Sangha is responsible for registering with the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha. 2. Regarding the authority, the district site for Vasa congregation is registered with the District People's Committee. The provincial study site for Vasa congregation is registered with the Provincial Study People's Committee. For monks and nuns in other provinces and studies to apply for Vasa in provinces and studies where accommodations provided, they must obtain approval from the Administration Board and register with the temporary residence with the government of the place of departure and destination. 3. Application to obtain the permission. In the case of Vasa on-spot resident, if there are over 20 permanent bhikkhus in the residence, you must register with the district and provincial Buddhist Sangha. The file includes list of the practitioners presented in the forms A, the circumstance, vitae, full name, dharma name, days of place of birth, years of ordination, monk position, dharma study programs. Only after the approvals of the District Provincial Buddhist Sangha Administration Board is obtained when the aggregation is allowed. In case of Vasa congregations organized by the Provincial and District Buddhist Sangha Administration Board, the application files for registration with the government include application form, list of administration boards, list of preachers, monastic curriculum, list of resident monks, nuns in statistic format, full name, dharma name, date and place of birth, gender, education, permanent due address. After obtaining the approvals of authority, the District and Provincial Buddhist Sangha Administration Board collate the files for temporary resident registration with the local government where the lower school is located. 3. Contents of practice during 3 months of Vasa. In order to achieve the purpose of the Buddhism strength retreat, Vasa is to recuperate the body and mind, to cultivate the precept, samadhi, bhikkhu, the developments of mindful, equanimous, and luminous mind, and effectively implement of the mottos of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, Dharma, Nation, Socialism. The organizing committees at the Vasa congregation site are expected to pay attention to some basic contents as follows: sufficient implementations of the course of reciting, meditating, reciting Buddha names, ascetic practicing, preserving the ritual in practicing daily activities. Depending on the levels of monks and nuns in each localities, the preachers may quote a number of issues in the sutra, dharma, or thematic discourse. In rain retreats with many abbots and monks, it is possible to combine the programs of retraining the abbot and the administrative works of the Sangha according to some documents such documents related to the abbot's principles, Vietnam Buddhist Sangha charters, internal affairs rules, Buddhist affairs action programs of the central boards of Vietnam Buddhist Sangha and provincial Vietnam Buddhist Sangha. In rain retreats with a large number of young monks and nuns in accommodation, attention should be paid to the discoveries of the new elements in Buddhism through their practice of discourse and articles on the world newspapers. Is it possible to invite the representatives of the party propaganda committees, the religious affairs department, the following friends of the province or city to present some issues related to religion and to introduce the contents of the law promulgated by the government, especially the laws on religious aid with the current news reporting. 4. Timings of rain retreat. For Mahayana Buddhism and the Buddhist mendicant, the timings of the Vasa begin on the 16th of the 4th lunar month, ending on the 16th of the 7th lunar month. However, due to the years of the red 2020, a clean year with 2 months of the 4, so the Vasa time will begin on the 16th of 2nd 4 lunar month, June 7, 2020, and ends on the 16th of 7th lunar month, September 3rd, 2020. For Theravada Buddhism, the Vasa time will begin on the 15th of the 6th lunar month, August 5th, 2020, and ends on the 15th date of the 9th lunar month, October 31st, 2020. 5. Timing for submitting the reports on the results of the rain retreat to the Central Office of Vietnam Buddhist Sangha. After undertakings of the Vasa, the Provincial Office of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha at the provincial level sent the list of Buddhist monks and nuns to the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha Central Office. The dossier for Vasa certificate application includes a copies of applied residence of a monk, a copies of the certificates of the Bhikkhu ordination issued by the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, attached by 2 color portrait photo, size 2:3. The deadline for sending the due report on Vasa completion to the Central Office of Vietnam Buddhist Sangha is the 16th of the 6th lunar month. Sangha in the northern provincial and city send report to Office 1 of Vietnam Buddhist Sangha at Quang Sư Pagoda, 73 Quang Sư Street, Hoàng Kim District, Hà Nội. Sangha in the southern provinces and cities send report to the Office 2 of Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, Quảng Đức Monastery, 264 Nam Kỳ Khởi Nghĩa, District 3, Ho Chi Minh City. In the course of implementing the process of organizing the summer retreat, if there are any questions of support, the administration board should send an official dispatch to Office 1, Office 2 of Vietnam Buddhist Sangha well in advance 2 weeks before the openings of Vasa. Convenient arrangement. Best wishes for the rain retreat season, Vasa 2564 with fullness of achievement. Permanent sections on behalf of Chairman, Permanent Vice Chairman, Heads of the Monks of Fair Side, Most Venerable Thích Thiện Pháp.
On the morning of May 13, 2020, the Reverend Monks of Social Charity Section of the Provincial Buddhist Sangha, in conjunction with the monks from Tân Khánh Pagoda, Bến Tre Province, and Từ Hạnh Pagoda, Ho Chi Minh City, organized the ceremony to open the water ATM and awarded gifts to disadvantaged people and visually impaired people to overcome the prolonged drought in Bến Tre Province.
Among the attendants in the ceremony, there were Venerable Thích Quảng Đức, member of the administration board, head of the Provincial Buddhist Sangha, Badana Thích Chí Thọ, Deputy of the section cum Chief Secretary of the Provincial Buddhist Sangha Administration Board, Bhadana Thích Quảng Đức, Standing Member of Dharma Enactment, Head of the Central Section for Internal Relations and International Relations, Bhadana Thích Quảng Đức, Deputy of Foreign Affairs and International Relations Section, the Head of Provincial Social Charity, and monks and nuns. From the government side, there were Mr. Phạm Minh Tiến, Permanent Vice Chairman of Bến Branch Union, and leaders of Châu Thành District's authorities. Bhadana Thích Quảng Đức briefly described the situation of salinity in recent years in the province. That is the main reason for activities to contribute to celebrate the Party Congress and the 130th birthday celebration of President Ho Chi Minh. Buddhism in Bến Province has mobilized over 100 free water dispensing stations, installation of ATM water in the monasteries, with a cost of over 120 million Vietnam dong for domestic use. The delegation also handed over 150 gifts to visually impaired people in 3 districts of Thạnh Phú, Bình Đại, and Dòng Trôm. The local government sent a letter of appreciation to sponsors to express gratitude for the support and assistance to help people overcome this difficult situation soon. In the afternoon of the same day, the charity team continued giving away 250 gifts to poor people in Mỏ Cày Bắc District at the office of District People's Committee.
On the morning of May 8, 2020, Vedanta Thích Minh Khải, head of the Provincial Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, deputy head of the Ngọc Sơn Friary, and monks and Buddhists gave gifts to the disadvantaged people in the area on the occasion of Buddha's birthday in Buddhist calendar 2564-2020, under the direction of Venerable Thích Minh, patron of Administration Board of Provincial Buddhist Sangha, Abbot of Ngọc Sơn Friary, Kiên Giang Province.
In the recent time, due to impacts of COVID-19 epidemic, people's lives have faced many difficulties, especially the poor people, lonely elderly people, people with disabilities. Facing such situation with the herds of Buddha's children, Dharma practice to health light, Ngọc Sơn Theory gave 250 gifts to the people in difficult circumstances and affected by the disease. The total budget is over 50 million dong, delivered on-site by the Buddhist monks of Ngọc Sơn Theory, and the benefactors with the design to help the disadvantaged people reduce the burden during the epidemic spout. It's ignored that during the Buddha's birthday each year, Ngọc Sơn Theory has supported over 5 tons of rice, 250 boxes of noodles and necessities to help the disadvantaged people affected by the pandemic in Kiên Giang Province.
Venerable Sangha, ladies and gentlemen, the last news has started this weekly newsreel. Thank you for your attention and following. Goodbye and see you in the next program on Peso TV channel. Namo Sakyamuni Buddha.